Without you, I remember myself, my name. Forgot about all you tried to change.
Hey guys, welcome back, it's Matt here, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Ticwatch E2. I've already done an unboxing video of this, so the link will be down below if you want to check that out. But today we're going a little bit more in depth. We're going to take a look at really how this watch does perform in the real world, whether it stacks up well against other smartwatches, and also see whether the features it claims are actually worthwhile. Right off the bat though, this is definitely a really good smartwatch. It is budget, it's $150, £150, and you do notice it, the build quality is substantially reduced to regular smartwatches. It's only made of plastic, and the strap is pretty flimsy, but it is definitely durable, and it's definitely good if you're going swimming or something like that. These materials hold up well to water. But I've enjoyed my experience with this. There has been a few hiccups here and there in terms of the software, and you're probably going to notice that in the video. Ticwatch have claimed there will be some updates coming out soon, so hopefully that does clear up some of the hiccups and bugs and smoothens out the performance more. But it does have an older processor in this guy, so definitely performance is a slight issue, which I hope they can resume through optimization of software. But we'll have to wait and see. Without further ado, let's go more in depth to the video. Okay, so taking a closer look, this is the software of the watch, so this is Wear OS. It's pretty standard and it's basically the same as every other watch out there, so every app you can get on Wear OS, you can get on this watch. The settings is the same as every other watch, so in your display option, you can change the watch face, you can adjust the brightness. One thing it doesn't have is it doesn't have auto brightness, so I don't know if that's a big deal for you guys. I have always on display, which is switched on. Gestures, which is actually really useful. It uses the flick of a wrist to move up and down in your menus. Connectivity, which is basically just Wi-Fi and Bluetooth, so if you're away from your device, you can connect to a Wi-Fi network. You can also enable a screen lock, and you can enable OK Google, and there's also an option to change your input method, which is basically the keyboard. There's a full-fledged keyboard on this, which is really cool, and it has the swipe input. Diving into the settings, we can actually go ahead and see the version of Wear OS is 2.7, so that is the latest version so far. You can simply go ahead and check for updates in here as well. Going back to the main screen, by holding down you can go ahead and actually scroll through all of your different watch faces that are pre-installed. They're your favorite ones and you can go ahead and view more on this list here. Obviously you can go ahead and download more from the Play Store, but if you do like a watch face and you want to just change one thing about it, there's actually this option below which allows you to customize all of the watch faces. Now it doesn't work on all of them, but it does allow you to change the color as well as the elements showing on the actual watch face. So if you want to show your steps or the temperature or a certain contact or a button which opens something quickly, you can do that. Something else really good about Wear OS is the fact that it has Google Assistant. So there's no speaker on this watch, so it won't reply, but it will allow you to talk to it and it will show you the answers, which is also really handy. There's also the option to say where you want to go and Maps will go ahead and take you there with on the wrist directions. For me, I haven't really noticed any issue from not having a speaker, and obviously the fact that it doesn't have one makes it just that little bit more waterproof. So there is some ups, there is some downs, but for me, I don't really answer calls much on my watch, so it's not much of an issue. And having the actual swimming mode and the waterproofing is much more useful. But there is an app which measures your fitness for a bunch of different activities, for example running, and it will track the time, the amount you've walked or ran, and it will tell you how many calories you've lost and things like that. So it's pretty useful for a fitness tracker. The steps seem pretty accurate. I didn't get a chance to actually test the swimming, and the heart rate monitor also seemed very accurate. Something super handy is that they have the quick release on the straps here, so I've actually gone ahead and switched the strap for another strap that I had for the Gear S3. But now I'm just going to show you some of the waterproofing, so I'm dropping it into some water, and you can see it's still turned on, nothing's happening. Something that is kind of expected is the touchscreen doesn't work underwater, so if you're swimming, you might have to get out of the pool or shake your wrist off, but it does have this built-in tracker, so you can enter the length of your pool, you can hit go, and it will actually measure your swimming, and it will track your fitness for swimming. So it does lock the screen, which stops unwanted touches, but once you're done you can go ahead and click the button and it should save all of your exercise. If you're curious about charging, this doesn't have Qi charging, however it does have some pins underneath which magnetically line up in order to charge. It charges really quick, it takes around an hour and 20 minutes, and it lasts around a day and a half. It does state in most places 2 days, but I'd give it a day at max. You're definitely going to want to charge this overnight if you actually use the watch. If you hold down the button further than Google Assistant, it opens up the power menu options. So if you're curious about that, because I didn't know how to turn it off. And then this is just me showing off the gestures that I showed before in the settings. So it's pretty handy if you don't want to touch the screen, or if you're in the water, like I said before, the touch screen doesn't work, so you can go ahead and use the gestures. Something I really like about Wear OS over Tizen is that it actually has the Play Store on the watch. So you can go ahead and search, and you can go ahead and look at apps and watch faces, and you can go and download those over Wi-Fi or through your connected device. And I just think that's pretty useful. Another thing I like is that it supports Google Apps, so you can get all of the Google Clock apps and the Google Calendar app and the Google Fit app. All of those are supported on here, which I really, really appreciate it. And it's just much better for me personally than it is on Tizen for that sort of stuff. But yeah, that's just my one gripe with Tizen. I really do appreciate the Google apps as well as the Google Assistant. In terms of the screen, it is a 1.39 inch 400 by 400 resolution AMOLED panel. So you're getting super contrasted colors. It really pops. Sometimes it can be a little bit hard to see in terms of brightness when you're outside, but it does the job. And especially for me, where I live, I have no issues with glare or anything like that. I pretty much can always see the time. But if you can't, I guess you could just cover it up. I mean, this is a budget smartwatch, so what can you really expect? And the strap that comes with it is quite flimsy. It's very thin rubber. And you probably want to pick up something more rugged, which I actually did. I picked up one of these straps for like $3 or $4, and it feels really good. And it's got this cool red and black color combination. If you're just seeing the side of the watch there, it is pretty thick at like 12.9 millimeters. So definitely if you have a very small wrist or you're a girl, this is going to look really chunky on your wrist. Luckily for me, I have a pretty big wrist and I do like a big watch, so it's not really much of a big deal. In terms of the responsiveness, I feel like it could be a little bit better. It does hiccup here and there. They have said they're going to fix it. I've seen a mild improvement, but we'll have to wait and see for what comes in the future. So anyway guys, that's pretty much it. I hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to comment, rate, and subscribe. Thank you for watching, and peace out.
I live inside my own world of make-believe. Kids screaming in the cradles, profanities. I see the world through ice covered in